shopping to do too. To get more information, go to the AndersonHouseHotel.com. Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are, but now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then, climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis' haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 65, then Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 81. The Great Wall has been your home for Chinese favorites since 1981. Don't miss the sesame chicken, mushu pork with Chinese pancakes, or Peking duck. Stop in at the restaurant on France Avenue and 45th Street along the Minneapolis-Edina City line, or check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Quite the day, I must say. I cannot scroll through my Facebook feed without seeing people pouring in about their memories and thoughts about the passing of Dolly Parton. Even though this is, kind of outside the realm of what the show is, it really is touching actually to see that, considering that it's incredible how. And I've seen this with other celebrities who have passed or people that have made an impact on the world, how it brings people together. And it's just been really, I don't mind scrolling through Facebook and seeing nothing but Dolly Parton, because I think it's actually very beautiful. It really goes to show what she meant to a lot of people and how it brought a lot of people together. And I just want to take a moment and just talk about that. This is my third hour on the radio today. This has been quite the marathon for me. I did the Matt McNeil show from 3 to 5 today, and that was a lot of fun, even though it was a bummer, because we talk about bummer-like things occasionally on there. This is the fun part, really, folks. This is the part where I have a long day and I sit in my office in my studio and I talk about ghosts and I talk about aliens and I talk about Bigfoot. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. Author Anita Allen is somebody who I've known for actually a very long time. And we haven't actually ever spoken like verbally to each other before. A lot of messages over the years and whatever else. But one thing I always love is people writing books about this subject. And she has written a book that is, I don't think, quite available yet. We're going to get to the bottom of that, called Nothing Ever Happens Here, Paranormal Events, Hauntings, High Strangeness, and more in the Roanoke Valley. And there's going to be a lot here to talk about because, a lot of times we bring in some great authors and they want to talk about the ghosts and stuff. Here, we're talking about everything. And I'm really looking forward to that. So very happy to have on tonight Miss Anita Allen. Anita, welcome to GhostBox Radio.
How's it going out there? Your weather sounds better than ours.
Well, I don't know. It's, it's warm. Obviously it's warm. And the thing is, of course, is that we have our Minnesota State Fair starting on Thursday. And so that's the harbinger of fall, quite honestly. So, we're all ready for that. So
My husband is a Minnesotan, and so this weather is tough on him. But I've heard many a tale of Minnesota from my in-laws.
what part of Minnesota?
He was actually born in Minneapolis.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of Minneapolis. So yeah, no, that's great. So with here though, we're going to be talking about Roanoke Valley. What does that encompass? What does Roanoke Valley encompass?
So, okay, Roanoke is on the eastern edge of the Appalachian Mountains in southwestern Virginia. There's a couple of large valleys, the Great Valley section, Shenandoah, and Roanoke. And Roanoke is a pretty large municipality. It encompasses Roanoke City and County. It encompasses Salem, which sometimes is a city. It just kind of depends on their population. Also Vinton. And then we have several smaller communities kind of satellite around the outside: Shawsville, Floyd, Boone's Mill, Elliston, Evington, Troutville, Fincastle, all that, Danville. And you can pretty much go 20 minutes any direction and you're lost in the woods, or lost in the cow fields. It's absolutely gorgeous. We have all the best of a big city without a majority of the big city problems, and yet we have the small town feel. And we are incredibly diverse here. So a tremendous international population. You're going to find somebody that you can connect to here. It's just a very comfortable, really laid back kind of town. And I don't know, I've been world traveling since I was 4. It's my favorite place. It's always beautiful. There's always something ridiculous going on, something intelligent going on, and something beautiful going on at the same time.
Sounds great.
It is. It's fun.
Now, did you grow up in this area, or did you
Yeah.
kind of Okay, you did. Okay.
Yeah. So we moved here when I was about 11 months old, and I can actually remember the move. I'm from upstate New York. My mom was a Navy brat, and my adoptive mother's a Navy brat, and my adoptive father is from India. So I grew up in an international family, and that's why I've been world traveling so much. But me and my sister, she's my biological sister, we love this place. We wouldn't move anywhere else.
And you have it sounds like it's the perfect hotbed for the kind of stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight, doesn't it?
It is. I laugh about it. This house was actually haunted when we first moved in. That was old man Schrader. He is now, he was waiting for his cat to pass, and so once she passed, he was gone. The house I grew up in was haunted, still is. I think 3 of the 5 places I've lived have been haunted, and that's not uncommon here. It's a very strange dynamic that I've not really seen other places, where you can't throw a rock without hitting a person or a place that's got a story, and everybody's used to it. Nobody cares. That's why nothing ever happens here. Soliciting stories for this book. Basically, I'm collecting the Fortean phenomenon that happens here. Anything weird, I wanted to write about it. And over again, people would say, oh yeah, we grew up with this ghost that always took the cake out of the oven, but nobody cares about that kind of stuff. Really?
Is that because it's so common, right? It's so it doesn't. It's like, oh, this is life. This isn't anything unusual to us.
I actually think a lot of these people that I talk to, because of what's on TV or what's online, with people seeing a raccoon climb down a doorway and go, ah! and run screaming into the night, or ice drops in a glass and they think that it's the boogeyman coming to get them. This kind of devil in the doorknob screaming is what they see all the time. And so if it doesn't make you scream and panic and wet yourself, it's not interesting.
It's very, by the way, that's very true. And that's very sad, isn't it?
It's horrible. It's totally biased the field. You can't get real research done because if it isn't scaring the snot out of the teenagers, it's not worth knowing. That doesn't work for me. That's not my game.
No, and we were just actually my guest last night, CL Thomas. We were talking about the Goldfield Hotel because she has been there many times in Nevada, and that was the same sort of thing we're talking about. Just how, as she had put it, everything that you have seen on TV about that place and about that town is absolutely incorrect, but it's all been fabricated. And here, first of all, I have to say, I mean, you got my attention when you talked about that you're pretty close to the Appalachian Mountains, and we had an Appalachian witch on before, and that was really interesting.
You're talking to one right now. I mean, look at the junk behind me. I literally fall into that category.
Let's take a look. Is that yeah, look at that. I see what you mean by the window. If it was during the day, it wouldn't have worked,
yeah,
right?
It's terrible. It's terrible bright. I've got the jars of crystals. I've got all my fun stuff. I have, when I'm going out causing trouble at night, my friends and I make it a point. We're not the ones you want to take to go to a haunted house because we clear out the ghosts. We're expurgators. So if you have a trapped spirit, we go and we remove it. We don't push it out. We cross it over because
me too.
Yeah, I know. This is why I like you. Pushing a ghost out only results in a wandering spirit. Wandering spirits cause problems. If you don't want to be a part of the problem, then learn how to cross them over and be part of the solution, because their energy should be crossed over. It shouldn't be stuck here. It creates an imbalance. It's unhealthy. And, so, that's just how it is.
Absolutely. So with the book, you wanted to document some of this stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I'm not gonna say, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I wasn't gonna say it wasn't easy. That's not the case, but that you had people who were just like, not really telling you stuff.
It took 3 years. This should have not taken this long, but there were so many roadblocks. And I can tell you right now, I write about this in the forward of the book when I'm talking about what it took to get that book to print. I joke that it could be a Netflix documentary. It's not really a joke. I have a statement now, bleep you, Buck Johnson, because ever since I got that story, not the Men in Black story, but the story about Buck Johnson, there's been my computer completely corrupted. I mean, literally, the shop said that the entire interior of the laptop was corroded as if it had been soaked in water, which it had not been. And absolutely nothing was retrievable. It took me months to find bits and pieces in emails and correspondence, because I always sent copies back to the witnesses and the experiencers. And then I would take those and transcribe it if they agreed with it. So I had to find all these things and try to put it back together. And in a span of literally a couple of weeks, sent out portions to different people to have them do proofreading and send it back to me. And thankfully, I've got a friend who is one of the most amazing artists ever, and got her going on the book cover. And to be blunt, well, not blunt, but this was a project for me to see what it took to get a book to press, because I want to start publishing these books. I've started a small imprint called Rowan Wolf Books. My husband and I have been publishing interstitial fiction for over 30 years, and that's Mythic Delirium books. And I've been behind the scenes as an editor and writer for many years, and I decided I wanted to see our quality of books in the paranormal field, and I wanted to do just true ghost stories, or paranormal stuff. So I actually have 3 books lined up, but this was the test run. Nothing ever happens here. And this was for me to get the full-on experience from start to finish of this nightmare. The next one coming up, Jimmy with Spooky Appalachia is actually writing a book on Mothman and people who've had Mothman experiences. So that's the next one. And then the third one, I will probably be doing that as well. And I'm starting the solicitation phase for true stories from people that are involved in reenactments, specifically the Civil War reenactors, because one of my friends who was a big supporter through this, my buddy Doug, is a Civil War reenactor, and he has stories that were amazing, including his new favorite of going out with paranormal investigators because it stirs things up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, I want these stories. So that's down the line. But this should have taken only about a year. And I had such a block with people going, well, yeah, I'll get back with you on it. It's just not that interesting. I mean, everybody has ghosts. Everybody's seen UFOs. And it's like, yeah, but they want to know about it. And I should say that UFOs here, I actually managed to get a couple of my friends to put it in here, to put their stories in here, because all of us around here go out on the parkway at night to watch UFOs.
Nice.
I mean, this is a thing. Date night is go out and try to get the UFOs to follow your flashlight or do the telepathic thing. I can't tell you the number of people I know who've done it. And for that to be commonplace enough that that's a date night thing for fun. And yet I see people that are like, I've never seen a UFO. I'm like, well, okay, go up on the parkway, take this exit, go down about 3 miles, pull off, and,
right.
That's here.
So
I thought I'm just going to document it.
So you mentioned Buck Johnson. Are you saying Buck Johnson from Missouri?
I don't know. It may be. This is a gentleman who was alive, as far as I know, in the 60s.
Yep.
And he sold his soul to the devil.
Yes, he did.
Okay, well, I guess he had headed to y'all's neck of the woods then.
I'll tell you what's interesting about this, because he was the one that he came up with the grandiose at his farm, all the spaceships came and he was pointing flashlights at them. And
oh, wait, I should ask. Was your Buck Johnson black?
I really don't know. I only heard about him just recently on Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World. So and it sounded like that the same sort of thing where none of this ever happened, but he's propagating his own agenda via.
Oh, I don't know. I can't say for certain about our Buck Johnson. Ours was a gentleman that was involved in just about anything illicit, illegal, or bad in the community. And in that time period, the cops should have been all over him like white on rice. And all of a sudden, the cops stopped bothering with him. And the reason they stopped bothering with him was because every time they picked him up for, run and shine or whatever else he might have been involved in, they'd take him up to Rocky Mount, which is about a half hour away, and book him. By the time they got back down to Boone's Mill, he's on the corner waving at the cops coming down the hill. There's no way he could have gotten back there. And they're like, there's no point to this. They got scared of picking him up. And so, my friend's mama had always warned her, don't mess with him. Don't go near him. Have nothing to do with this man. And she was not a woman to make up stuff. And when they asked her why, mama told them, this is what he did. And I spell it out in the book, what he did.
It's just interesting because I just looked it up. The guy's name is Buck Johnson, right? No, Buck Nelson. I got it wrong. Buck Nelson.
Oh,
that's who it was.
Well, I guess it's a thing for some of these bucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, stay away from the bucks, right? So why don't we go? Yeah, just it's so weird. It's so weird. You mentioned somebody who I'll have no idea who it is. I think it is somebody.
Yeah,
and it's not. We just wasted 20 minutes on this. Yeah, okay.
It's so close.
It's so close, but not close enough. This is what I think I want to do. I want to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, I want to talk about aliens in Roanoke Valley. That's where I want to start, and because that's one of my biggest fascinations. I want to hear what's going on in Roanoke Valley. Okay. Okay, we're taking a break, Anita. We'll catch up afterwards. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Moonstone Minneapolis is a queer-owned, community-focused gift shop in South Minneapolis centered on curiosity, connection, and self-discovery. Explore astrology, tarot, crystals, herbs, mindfulness, and spiritual practices in a welcoming environment for all backgrounds and experience levels. Located at 3304 East Lake Street in Minneapolis, Moonstone, Minneapolis also hosts makers markets, classes, and community events. Learn more at moonstoneMPLS.com and discover a welcoming place to explore with curiosity and respect. Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com. Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville. Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are, but now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then, climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis' haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information. Looking for something different for family fun, a night out with friends, or your next team-building event? Try the escape rooms at Lilliput. Step into the haunted mansion, race to find a cure in the bunker, or survive Night of the Wolf, all with just 60 minutes to escape. It's private, immersive, and perfect for groups of all kinds. Book your adventure now, spots fill fast. Visit lilliput.net and see if your team has what it takes to escape. I've been asking you this all week, and I'm going to say it again, folks. What are you doing this weekend? You want to take a drive out of the Twin Cities and go to probably one of the most haunted places that I have ever experienced, and that is over in Montevideo in the Chippewa Historical Society-owned Swenson Family Farm. I'm going to be doing an event out there this weekend with Char Savoy. We are going to be investigating the farmhouse. We're going to be investigating the barn. This is where, and I don't want to say, I'm not sure if I want to say this because I don't want to promise anything, but where we have, picked up some Bigfoot stuff, where we picked up some alien stuff, as well as spirit stuff. This is a very incredible location. The last time we had a group out there and we did one of these, we were seeing what's called eye shine throughout the woods around us, which is the eyes of the Sasquatch, the Bigfoots, the forest friends, whatever you want to call them. This place is incredible, and we are doing an event out there with the Chippewa County Minnesota Historical Society. So that's this Saturday, August 29th, starts at 7 p.m. To get your tickets, I recommend giving them a call, 320-269-7636, 320-269-7636. You can email them at chippewahistorical@gmail.com. Chippewahistorical@gmail.com. Come on out. It's going to be a great time. And we are one of two teams that are allowed out there to do this. So it's not open to do paranormal investigations very often, but it's a lot of fun. So come on out and take part. We have a special guest tonight, author Anita Allen. We are talking about her new book, Nothing Ever Happens Here, Paranormal Events, Hauntings, High Strangeness, and more in the Roanoke Valley. Now, Anita, the book isn't quite available yet, is it?
No, I've had a few. I had some advanced copies that I was going to send to reviewers, but I had promised myself I was going to take them to a convention that was last week and sold every one of them at the convention.
Good.
But it is officially out on the 29th of September. So very shortly it'll be available. And it can be ordered right now if you want a pre-order of it. So people have been pre-ordering it. I've had at least 9 libraries last time I checked that ordered it. If you
That's
request
great.
it from the library, they can order it. And it's running $19.95 in US dollars. I forget what it is on the others. It's also going to be available on Kindle, and you can go through Amazon, Bookfinder, Barnes and Noble, any of those.
And I do want to just point out real fast, if you're in a generous mood, feel free to go to ghostboxradio.com/Ghostbox Book Club. We do have an Amazon affiliated link for the book, which both gets you an incredible book and also helps out Ghostbox Radio a little bit. So please consider that. But as I always say, I don't care how you get it, just get the book. Just get the book. And also,
I think people will like it if they get the book because it lets them know you don't have to always be afraid.
you don't always have to be afraid. And I think it's also really neat to see what activities happen in other parts of the country as well. I love that part of it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love what you're talking about with the Swinson Farm there. That sounds like a fun night for me. I would recommend, if you don't have it, get a small Geiger counter. A lot of times we're finding certain peaks. I'll message you later about this, but certain peaks on radiation prior to certain types of phenomenon.
It's
And
interesting.
it's very interesting. I'll hook you up with that later, but I highly recommend looking into the history as well, because I'm finding a majority of the sightings in my area tend to be currently where we've got recycling and the transfer stations. And I have a suspicion that there is an interest in either crash materials or a certain type of radioactive material, because these sites do handle that type of stuff. And it's something that's attracting them. I'm not sure what, but where I live, literally out this window, there have been sightings, not by me, but within an earshot, within a half mile of my house, there have been 4 sightings. And I'm on very close to Electric Road, where General Electric was during the Cold War. We were a tertiary nuclear site, a strike site. So, we would be the third ones hit, basically, because we are a transportation hub. And I think that brought in a lot of UFO interest.
Well, and then also on the Bigfoot side of things, when we were last at the farm, we were out in the fields doing a spirit box session with a group of probably about 10 other people. And suddenly, through the spirit box, you hear something scream out, literally the term Bigfoot. And which is that, and your reaction is actually kind of mine. It's actually kind of comical in a sense.
It's like, why not?
But it's also to me,
saw him.
to me, it's also kind of comical because it's so on the nose. But then we start hearing these whatever screaming. Yeah. And it causes such an alarm. All the coyotes around the area start going crazy at the same time. And then we start seeing movement in the trees of something very big moving through. It's absolutely. And once again, folks, yeah, we do want you to come out to the Swenson family farm. I do not guarantee that this is activity you're going to get every time, but this is what happened the last time we had a group out there.
It's okay. So I also worked with the Virginia Bigfoot Research Organization many years ago. We have a research site. This fits, and there's absolutely no reason that a spirit interacting with your group would not give you the heads up that there's incoming. I mean, that's what friends do. And they would be very interested. Whenever you're doing something else and you're ignoring them, they're going to get interested in you. Me and my friends go out and have cookouts and just bring them in with bacon.
Well, and the thing is, though, is that we were asking for the Forest Friends because, I mean, I believe that they're interdimensional, just like aliens can also, I mean, that's a whole big thing about CE5s and all that good stuff. And that's just kind of what it was. But we're kind of going off topic here. I want to talk about your book. I don't want to talk about my experiences.
But like that in the book, it's in there.
So, like, for
But
example, in the book, is it a is it that area of the Roanoke Valley? Is that kind of a hotbed for, like, you mentioned UFOs part of it, where people go on looking all the time? Does it get any closer than that? Let's put it that way. Like, that people are interacting with aliens or anything.
One of the stories, it's actually my own personal story, involves possibly interrupting an alien abduction. And I'm not going to tell you that one. You'll have to look it up. But I'll read you a quick one of what's called a close encounter of the third type, subtype B, if you're familiar with all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't give you the whole trappings of it, just the meaty bit. But this was from Mark Swain, and it was mid-September 1989, and this took place in Salem. This is about 3 miles from my house, just to give you an idea. It's still in this zone. As Mark recalled, I happened to just look up, and to the side of me, it was very dark. Now, Mark and his wife are driving home at this point, and this is about 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I should say, they're coming up to a T intersection in a low area. So there's one road going this way and one road going down to the intersection where the light is, and then going back up. To the left is soccer fields, a children's home, and a few businesses. To the right are personal houses and a couple of apartment complexes. Through the light on the left is the Salem Civic Center, and to the right are some nice houses. So this is in town. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was huge metal, like stainless steel, round object with a span of 2 football fields. It seemed to have 3 dim red lights on its underside. The craft was just hovering about 100 yards up in the air, hovering over the field across the street from the Civic Center. I told my wife to stop the car, and I got out for a better look. It had some small windows on it. As you look at it, you could see shadow-like figures moving inside, like they were maybe just walking by the windows. They looked like regular people, except their heads seemed bigger than they should be. I could hear and feel a vibration from the craft. It was like when you stand under power lines and they hum.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little frightened, but fascinated at the same time. I stood and watched it for about 5 minutes. I just kept thinking to myself if they had noticed us watching them yet. If they did, would they pull us up in the ship and abduct us? Then the ship just took off like a lightning flash or a camera flash and just disappeared into nothing. There you go.
That's pretty awesome. I've questions, okay? But before that, I want to quickly get this comment in, which I think is very nice. Marvin says, Anita is a great person. She presented me with an advanced copy of the book. I've read the book, and it's informative, enjoyable, and well written. I encourage everyone to get the book. Marvin, that's very kind. Nice writing there. And then who do you have with you right now?
This is Pandora. She has allergies at the moment, so her eyes are a little runny. But this is my beast that I used to joke about online. And she's 17. She's a hardy little girl. She helps me out with everything, and now she wants down.
Just like that.
Feline interruptus.
Nope, that's quite all right. And as it happens, my little one is right next to me at my feet down here. I'm not going to pick her up. Puff, yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
It's a giant fluff monster who always did that.
So I want to ask you, one of my favorite things that I've been doing research in, because it for some reason it never occurred to me until about 5 years ago, was the fact that when you're going on a paranormal investigation and you're seeing spirits or whatever else, have you run into any situations where you have found that you're going in on these investigations only to find out what people are thinking are spirits are in fact aliens?
Not yet.
Mm.
No. At this point, there's different types of spirits. You know, you have the human entities, you have what I could call non-corporeal entities, which is something that is just an energy being. It has always been an energy being. It'll always be an energy being. Sometimes I lump that into spirit because it's a lot easier than trying to explain that to other people, but I like non-corporeal entity.
Mm-hmm.
But there are, for anything that can generate energy, there can be a spirit. So, you know, there can be something residual left over. And there are things that are capable of bilocation. So you
Mm-hmm.
have, you know, it's in one place, but you're pretty sure it's in another place too. There are things, including humans, that are capable of not just remote viewing, but astral projection. And for individuals who are sensitive, they can see those people. And depending on the degree of sensitivity, the person can appear like a ghost or they can appear like an actual other human being. So part of it depends on the recipient, the person who is viewing this spirit. And part of it depends on what's generating that energy. You know, is it a life form? Is it currently living? Is it something that's never been living? What's the deal on it? So there's a lot you have to kind of figure out when you go in there. As of yet, I have not encountered anything that I would say is 100% non-terrestrial in origin. There are definitely things that I would question if they came from this reality, if they aren't interdimensional. You know, I do believe that Bigfoot is capable of slipping in and out of this dimension. And I also believe that it is capable of being able to make itself invisible.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as aliens, I have a personal disinterest in encountering little gray men. So, you know, it could be just that I put enough of a strong vibe out there of don't even think about it, that they don't bother with me.
Yeah.
But I have had encounters with ships close enough for my comfort. And I don't know. Maybe someday I'll see aliens, but we'll see what happens.
It's interesting, and I think we have found a location that is, and I can't get too much into it right now, but that's teetering on this, and but it's been something that I've been kind of taking part in for a number of years now, trying to see how people can confuse, because there's also places that people are investigating at that, you know, they may not be sensitive or may not be using their gifts the way that say you do, and so they're just in there, and what they're expecting to see is spirit, and what is actually happening may not be spirit. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's
Oh, I do. I do. I have friends that are trying to do a lot of the CE5 contacts and things like that at the moment, and they're definitely getting interactions. And I think that you have to be ready to deal with what comes, and it may not be what you expect. So I don't know. I'm very leery of dealing with it just because something that comes from a non-terrestrial origin functions on a culture and a physics that we can't grasp yet. And so what could be a gesture of friendship from it could be a death threat to us. You know, there's so many layers of misinterpretation possible that I just find it an area to be very cautious and careful in. You know, I have friends that have had multiple encounters with aliens and that speak of this. And there have been misinterpretations on their part of what the aliens meant. So I don't know. That's just a very careful area for me.
Well, and to that point, and longtime listeners to the program here will know my background with alien encounters and whatnot, and the mantra that I always give, especially when people say to me when they hear my stories, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'd love to experience that." I always tell them, "Careful for what you wish for,
Yeah.
because you will get it."
Yeah. I mean, I remember the ghost box nights and trying to contact aliens, and I always thought that was awesome, and I think that that is a valid method to do it. I find that just there's a trust issue with me. I don't know, I've got some gut level instinct that says stay in the back of the crowd. Don't be in the front when they come.
Like I was that night.
Yeah, dummy.
Well, and I firmly believe once you establish that contact, they will not let you go.
No, it's the same as with working with ghosts. Once they know that you are open to interaction, it's like you got dealy boppers on your head that bop back and forth saying, "Come bug me." They're gonna light up dealy boppers. They're gonna find you.
That's why you can't wear dealy boppers. You don't want to wear dealy boppers, right? That's
Don't get a choice. They're on you.
if you're gonna get one thing out of tonight's show with Anita Allen, don't wear dilly boppers, okay? Anita, let's go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, I want to talk more about the book, and let's talk some cryptids and all sorts of good things. And folks, if you have any questions for Anita, put them in the comments as well. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are, but now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then, climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis' haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information. Moonstone Minneapolis is a queer-owned community-focused gift shop in South Minneapolis centered on curiosity, connection, and self-discovery. Explore astrology, tarot, crystals, herbs, mindfulness, and spiritual practices in a welcoming environment for all backgrounds and experience levels. Located at 3304 East Lake Street in Minneapolis, Moonstone Minneapolis also hosts makers markets, classes, and community events. Learn more at moonstoneMPLS.com and discover a welcoming place to explore with curiosity and respect. It's that time of year where the weather is getting nice and it's time to get out of the house for some family fun. Lily Putt is open for the season, and you know what that means. Lily Putt is known for its mini golf, go-karts, glow golf, jump pads, kiddie carts, gem mining, and even a new arcade. Lily Putt also has interactive and engaging escape rooms like the Haunted Mansion, the Bunker, or Night of the Wolf. Lily Putt is perfect for parties and group events. Stop by lilyputt.net for more information and hours of operation. Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com. And join me tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We're doing a replay just from May, and we are having a replay conversation with Matt Schmidt, quantum healer. Every time he's on, it kind of blows our mind, and he is fantastic. And as we just have been talking about aliens on the program tonight, we're replaying our conversation with Matt where we're talking about connecting with aliens through the quantum healing side of things, and it's a great conversation. So check it out. It's really very good. And then I'm going to be back on Friday with an all new Casual Friday. It's going to be a great week, and I'm hoping that you'll join us for that. We have with us tonight author Anita Allen. We're talking about her new book that comes out at the end of September, but you can go out and pre-order it now. Nothing Ever Happens Here: Paranormal Events, Hauntings, High Strangeness, and more in the Roanoke Valley. And I'm going to ask you something, Anita, since you're over by the Appalachian Mountains. What about Wendigo? Have you heard people talk about Wendigo at all?
I hear that so much. I just want to go out and start smacking people upside the head. Wendigos belong to the north. What we have in these mountains is not the Wendigo. Wendigo is a state of spiritual disruption when, it is an entity, a non-corporeal entity. It can affect humans. When it affects humans, it has a very specific pattern of decline. It's not like a possession, it's like a sickness. The natives often treated it as a spirit sickness, and it actually can be treated and they can recover from it, that they will have some issues in the future. But people love to imagine that they have seen or talk about seeing some deer skull headed, rag wearing skeletal creature running through the woods and go, "Oh, it's a skinwalker, it's a Wendigo." It's like, no, it's probably something else, its name I'm not going to say, and it's Native American, and you need to leave it alone. But that's not always what it is. We have a lot of stuff up here, and when one of the things that we say here in the Appalachian is, if you saw something, no, you didn't. The reason behind that is something learned from the Native American friends that we've had here, and that is, by paying attention to it, by focusing on it, not only are you making it aware that you see it, i.e., putting dealy boppers on yourself, but you are giving it energy. You are giving it power, and you are helping to feed its identity. And so you're going to attract it. And it's going to want to get energy from you, and it is going to want to torment you, or it might want to silence you. Whatever the case may be, you're far better off to ignore it as long as you possibly can until you figure out what it is and take the defensive measures against it. So, yeah, we hear that all the time. We hear skinwalkers. We hear just so much stuff. And it's like, there are so many other things that can shapeshift. I've even we have a shapeshifter in the book. And in that particular case, the young woman was waiting for an Uber. She actually lived over in Penn Forest in a very nice, beautiful neighborhood. It's mountains coming down to it, very pretty. And her house is up on one of the mountains, and she was waiting on the Uber, and she heard what she thought was two dogs getting into a fight, barking and whatever. And one of them had, at first it started out with normal deep dog barking, bark, 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 bark. And then one of the dog's voices started to go up in pitch and get weird. Like it was getting higher and higher and higher, and it didn't make any sense. And then all of a sudden, it was dead silence. There was no sound of anybody opening the door and letting the dog in. There was no final barks from either of the dogs. There was nothing. And she's trying to figure out what just happened, and how weird is that to hear a dog suddenly go from bark, bark, bark to beep, 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 going all the way up. Like it's like somebody put him in a hot wash and he shrank. And then A few minutes later, she hears weird noises coming from her neighbor's yard, which is like there's like a fence. And so there's something on this side of the fence or the brush fence. And she looks over and she can make out some form that's about 2 feet off the ground and huge. And it's, big and dark and not a Bigfoot, just dark. And it spoke to her. And it basically said it was going to wreck her. Like, I'm inside. I'm done. First she hears it saying wreck. And she's like, is this a bird screech? And she's trying to figure if maybe it's a downed owl. And, it goes wreck. And she's like, what the hell is this? And then it goes, Rex, you. She's like, nope, inside. And
Goodness.
she's like, wait for the Uber inside.
Oh,
I asked her if she wanted me to come up and investigate. And she goes, nope, better to leave these things alone. I'm like, all right.
I think that's something we don't talk about enough, is it? Leaving it alone.
I mean, that's the thing. The more you give it, the more power these things get. And a lot of times they'll play into the identity that you give them. So, like if you have wandering spirits, a lot of times because they've lost the house that they came from or the site that they came from, they lose their identity because the physicality has changed. They forget who they are, like it's a memory loss thing. And they just hang on, but they don't know why they hang on. And so if you decide that they're something and you give them that identity, then they will lean into it because it gets them what they want, which is easy energy, which is how they survive. We can create these entities. If you're familiar with the Philip experiment or anything else along those lines, and egregores, we can literally build them out of nothing and create. So you have to be careful. And that's why it's just, I guess, tradition here that if you think you've seen something or heard something or experienced something, you just kind of go on about your business until you can get to one of your friends. There's always one of them that you can talk to and say, hey, this happened. What do I do? Is this something I need to be concerned about? And your friend can give you the advice you need, and you can look up what books need to be looked up or, whatever need to be done to figure out how to protect yourself in case it comes around again.
It also plays into, and we have about 4 minutes left, it also plays into the title of the book, Nothing Ever Happens Here.
You got it.
It's interesting.
You got it. But and we've got interesting stuff here. I don't write about a lot of monsters. I do write about Bigfoot in the backyard. Happen to people, and there's no reason why it wouldn't. We're a train area, and wildlife follows the trains, moves from the trains to the greenways. Our entire city has connected greenways between the parks. And our original name was Big Lick because of a salt and mineral lick here.
Okay.
Of town. So we still attract a lot of wildlife into the city. Why not Bigfoot?
The biggest of all.
I'm waiting on buffalo, but there you go.
One other question as we're wrapping up here. We have about 2.5 left. Being once again, because I'm always so mystified by the Appalachian Mountains. How many times have you heard your name called at night?
Actually, I haven't.
And no whistling?
No. I mean, I know what whistles at night, but
yeah.
As far as I've spent most of my youth backpacking these mountains, I was a hardcore outdoors woman. I have been all over the place, and most of the things that scream in the night, I scream back at them because I know what they are. The Bigfoot is the only thing that I don't know what it was. And because I don't know what it was, I have decided I'm going to go find out. And so that's why I research and follow that one. But as far as other things that go bump in the night, for the most part, no, I've not had any issues with that. I mean, things that whistle in the night can be cougars. Not a good idea to whistle back because that's what mommy says when she wants her baby to come to her. That's a little chirp. Bobcats use it. Cougars use it. Don't go whistling back.
Well, but that's what they say. Don't whistle back, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to acknowledge your name being called. That sort of thing.
Yeah, and I don't think anything's dumb enough to go hollering my name out in the woods anyway. Um, I'm one of those things that goes bump in the night. So
That's funny. Oh my gosh, that's funny. We have about a minute left. So it comes out. The book comes out at the end of September. You have a bunch of Paracons and stuff lined up that you're going to be.
no, the
It sounds
only
like you got it under control. Yeah. Okay.
the only thing I've got right now is I'm looking at setting up a few readings locally, and I
Ooh, that'll
have
be nice.
a convention, which is going to be Mysticon, and that's here in Roanoke, and we're going to have a book launch party that'll be in February. And as far as the conventions in the upcoming year, I am going to do that next. I'm waiting until the book actually hits the stores before I do that.
Well, and because I know that you pulled some passages tonight, and we didn't really get to a whole lot of that, but maybe at some point, maybe September, October, we have you back on. You read some of those passages.
Absolutely, be delighted.
Because I think people would really really enjoy it, and I mean, I have a copy of the book, and I appreciate it, and I've enjoyed what I've read. So I just I hope that other people have the opportunity to get it, because it's a great book. So
anytime that you want to touch grass over here in the Appalachia and hear about what it's like and what's going on, I'm available. I'd be more than happy to chat and fill you in on what's going on, and the ghost stories galore.
Absolutely. The book is called Nothing Ever Happens Here, Paranormal Events, Hauntings, High Strangeness, and More in Roanoke Valley. Author Anita Allen. It comes out at the end of September. Everyone, please go get it. Miss Allen, thank you very much. Really appreciate it tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow. Everyone, have a great night.